Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful big island of Hawaii. Today I'm inside because it is extremely windy around here. It's very loud out there. So we're in my room today. Hooray! Yay! Thanks for joining. Aloha. So I'm fresh back from Mana Fest, the festival that was happening here in the Big Island. I had a workshop there. It was about integrating the male, the masculine, and feminine principle. Hope we haven't seen inside the house yet. You guys are fun. Okay, next time for next Wisdom Dialogues, come on before I start, and I'll start without recording, and I'll give a tour to whoever's on. 250. How about that? 250. Come on at 250 and you'll have a tour. I'm always on before. Yes, you are. You will get the tour for sure, Lori. You're on. You're on it. So I got to give a little workshop. It was really fun. I played my harp the whole time. That is not a piano behind me. I'm not in the music room right now. There is a piano here. It could use a tuning. I did hear someone play it. It sounded pretty good to me, but people are saying it's out of tune. So, yeah. Thank you. So, we were talking about this sense of inequality, this sense of struggle between the masculine and feminine, and having some essential oils around it, and harping. And some of the points about it, one of them, of course, forgiving the idea that anything happened, forgiving the sense that someone out there could do something to you. And basically, all that is getting the sense of it, getting the sense of it. If you perceive inequality, in the world, just note that it's coming from a feeling and it's not really from out there. And with that, you can be with the feeling. And it doesn't even have to be for a long period of time. A minute is an amazing healing. But watch how much focus it takes to embrace the feeling for a minute without pursuing thoughts that justify it, thoughts that justify the feeling. Aloha, Lori.
You just triggered something that happened this past week that just was so cool. Hope I finally did. Okay.
Okay.
You know how Peter and I have always had this. Uh, he's jealous, and I'm like, oh, here we go again, and all of that. It's been going in circles. Anyway, so there's this new guy well, he's not new, but I exchanged uh, numbers with him so me and my girlfriend Nicole can walk with him at the mountain. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it was Nicole that did it, not me. And it just happened that I needed the number for something. Anyway, so was mentioning something about it to Nicole about how I got Steve's number when Peter was in the kitchen. And he ended up leaving the house all huffy and everything. And he came back in, and some time had passed, and he goes, "Oh, with the dog man or something like that, the new dog man or something, some derogatory, and there was automatic starting with defense. And then I went, oh,
Yay.
thank you. Right. I said,
And
I saw clearly that was me telling me that I shouldn't be talking with Steve. What the frig?
yes,
I
and
didn't even know I had that in there.
right.
I had no idea that was in. Well, I guess now that I've seen it,
Yes.
I think I did know. I did know,
Yes.
but it wasn't in the front. It was like in the back.
Exactly. Exactly. 'Cause it's like you veil it from yourself, but you can't really say you're unconscious of it because you're totally conscious of it. Like you know what you're doing. It's just that there's veils up to you're hiding it from yourself. It's like you're veiling it from yourself. So
Right.
you do know, and even if it seems like you really don't know, a lot of times in retrospect we can look and go, "Oh yeah, I knew."
I knew. I friggin' knew. Okay, so after that, I cannot tell you the freaking joy.
Freaking
The I, I I was coming out of my skin, so elated, and
yeah.
oh, it just felt so good. Now I want to see it all.
You see what I
I
mean? You see what I mean when I say it's fun?
I want to see it all. Yes. Anyway, I said, "Oh, I can't wait to tell Hope this." And
That's
I'd
one.
forgotten about it. I'd forgotten about it.
Aw, thank
Mm.
you.
Well, thank you. Really, thank you. Cause
Yay.
yeah. Uh,
Aw, it makes it all worth it to see my friends getting in it. That is,
oh my God, I can't even tell you. Oh, geez. Anyway, so
yeah.
that's I think that's all I had to say.
All right.
You can mute me again.
Thank you, Lori. I love you.
I
I
love
appreciate you.
you too.
Aloha.
Bye bye.
Yes, as you all know, we're on here. Raise your hand if you would like to speak with me. I love you. Thank you. So, in forgiving, it has to be total. The one thing that you're leaving out of forgiveness is going to make suffering. There's one thing that you're refusing to have the feeling reinterpreted for you. See? It's kind of like you're offering up that feeling. One thing that came up this weekend, I attended a workshop at that Monifest by a friend of mine named Sage. Some of you may know her. She's also here in Hawaii. And the way she said a feeling is a mind state or a state of mind, something like that, something to that effect, or that's just the way I heard it. But a feeling as a state of mind, like I would say a feeling is symbolic of a state of mind. And so, whatever is getting a trigger for you, you can be with that state of mind in the form of that feeling, in the form of that triggered feeling. You can be in that state of mind, like say, you could say, getting the feeling effects of that particular state of mind. And as you get the feeling effects of that state of mind, those feelings get integrated with the truth. And when that happens, they don't have the same kind of quality for you anymore. They don't have a scary kind of quality for you. They have more of an exciting quality for you. Like, ooh, I was telling my friends yesterday, I love it when I feel confused. I love it because that means something is being birthed. That, It doesn't mean something is wrong, but if I take it to mean something is wrong, then that will prolong the confusion and probably lengthen my journey back from that little meandering. See, instead of just letting confusion arise, because it's a feeling sensation in the body, they're letting confusion arise and pass away. What the ego's tendency to do is take the confusion as if it means something about you. Make it mean something. Make it a task to try to get out of it. See, you're always there quietly observing everything. You're always there, which is here, quietly observing even the confusion that arises in you. So it's no cause for any alarm. In fact, in making confusion a cause for alarm, you make it heavy. You give it a heaviness. You make it mean something about you. Instead of just having the feeling effect of that state of mind, getting the feeling effect of that state of mind. This is how we avoid getting the feeling effect, which is what heals the state of mind. You could say it allows the feeling to integrate so that you can just observe the state of mind without getting triggered by it. And in that, you become energized by it. You could say excited by it, because now you can express yourself as who you really are. What used to trigger you, you end up forgetting that it was a trigger. If you have the memory return to you that it was a trigger, it might make you laugh. It might be cause for comedy. But there's nothing there. It's like it's like there's something on the surface that came to disturb your peace. Like, say, here you are in this nice quiet house, you're all cozy, you got your nice slippers every night, your robe, you got your nice fireplace when it's cold out, and then all of a sudden, the next thing you know, a family of 5 people just moved in with you. They have some kind of story about how it happened or whatever, but there they are. There's going to be all kinds of thought projections. There might be, oh my goodness, they should do this, they should do this, they should do this, they should hurry up and get out of here, whatever. It's like these visitors that come, they just need to be accepted by you. They just need your acceptance. That's all. And then they'll leave. They'll go when they have your acceptance. It's like that. It's like that. As long as you're at odds with them, thinking that it's wrong that they're in your house, that they should be more responsible and get out, or whatever it is, whatever kind of judgmental daggers are being thrown their way, they're going to stay. And if you do force them out, another one will come. But if you give them your love and acceptance, they'll move on. See? They're not looking for that. They're looking for something else. You give it to them. You give them love and acceptance. You don't have what they're looking for. You don't have what they're looking for. You don't have what the fearful thoughts are looking for. This exact same thing happened here in June with my granddaughter's mom. Okay, Lori wrote to me. And her 2-year-old boy. They were only there a month. Yeah, people can be symbolic of it. People can be symbolic of it. I did it kind of like, the way I said it, it was like people and stuff like that coming into your house and kind of, it seems, seemingly disturbing your peace. Seemingly disturbing your peace. And it's like, you could say that's like a disturbed thought entering your awareness. When you just love the feeling effect of it, you just love the feeling effect of it, you just love those people, they're not looking for that. They'll just move on. Okay? Every person that enters your energy field is just there for you. Say they're there for you. Demonstrating exactly what it is that you want to see, what you can use to heal this belief in separation. Okay? It's largely hidden from ourselves. I used to say unconscious, but then I realized, wait a minute, there's not really that. It's not really like that. It's more like it's conscious, and then it's also consciously hidden. Hidden. The whole thing is very conscious. What you perceive is what you've chosen to believe. That's how the veils have gone up. And the feeling effects that you get from it tell you whether your beliefs are in alignment with truth. I said before, the truth is only joy, happiness, peace, abundance, health. It's not anything that's a heaviness. It's not anything that's heaviness. So any kind of heaviness, any kind of, oh, I wish they would, gosh, when I was their age, I was, any kind of heaviness, any kind of projection like that, just get the effect of it. Let all of the manifestations, even the manifestations of your own words, actions, whatever, just let them take care of themselves. The main thing is that you're getting the feeling effect. It's like you're getting the gift that everyone's giving you. You've probably heard everyone's my teacher before. It's like you're allowing yourself to get the gift that everyone's giving you. You allow yourself to get the feeling of that state of mind, get that feeling effect, and that's how it gets integrated with that state of mind. And that feeling effect gets recognized more and more as being only a state of mind. So it's like the fear of it calms down and a new excitement takes over. That's why you can hear Lori say, like, yes, give it to me now. I want to see what I'm saying to myself. I want to see what kind of messages I'm sending to myself. And I heard the way Abraham Hicks would put it, they would say it's a pivoting. So you're going in one direction, believing in your perceptions, and you recognize a heavy feeling, and it's almost like you just pivoted. You just were going one direction, you just completely like turned and went in another direction. And that's kind of like what it feels like. It's almost like a step, like a step forward. You hear someone acting jealous to you, and you feel the defensive effect of it, and then you realize, wow, I asked him to say that. And the moment you realize I asked him to say that, you're not pursuing him as if he's attacking you. You're not pursuing attacks on him, attacking him back. Which basically, you're always attacking yourself when you attack. There's no one out there. Like trying to bury your guilt over there and then attack it. The ego's way of trying to keep you innocent. And you want to be innocent because you know that innocence, of course, is deserving of love. I mean, like God's love. Innocence is deserving of God's love, and you know that. It's just that there's a a part of you, there may be a large part of you that forgot that, that forgot that you're only innocence and it could never be taken away. And you're always worthy. So when you forget that you're worthy, when you forget your worthiness, you seek outward for the worthiness from other people. And when you're seeking outwards for worthiness from other people, you're going to get triggered. Isn't that good? Isn't that so good that you're going to get triggered when you're seeking for your worthiness in the world where it can never be found, by the way? You're going to get triggered so that you can bring yourself back to reality. Your worth isn't found in the world. It doesn't matter what degree of worthiness you think you seem to find in the world. Fame, whatever, the most lovable, the richest, I don't know, whatever it is. It's not giving you anything of value, though. That's not giving you anything of value. And it's not sustainable. Okay? Not sustaining or sustainable. The only thing that's going to give you anything of value is claiming the worthiness that's already yours. And that takes a willingness to deny the evidence. Deny the evidence that it says that's making me feel this way. And just get the ride. Take the ride. Get the feeling sensation. Forget about what seems like made the feeling sensation and just get the feeling sensation. And that's what purifies the mind. Okay? You get that feeling sensation. Because, see, in order to support that state of mind, you have to pursue thoughts that justify the feeling. If you don't pursue the thoughts that justify the feeling, then that state of mind loses power. It loses attraction to your energy field. It can't sustain itself on its own because it's based on a false belief. It needs fear. And in order to feed it with fear, in order to feed it with fearful thoughts, you have to be feeling guilty. Otherwise, pursuing fearful thoughts isn't even attractive to you. If you don't feel guilty, pursuing fearful thoughts isn't attractive to you. So, how do you get to not feel guilty? And what is feeling guilty? Well, any upset feeling is a feeling guilty. Guilty, fearful. Okay? Any kind of upset feeling. Even just the slightest frustration. Okay? So, resolving the guilty feeling is just a matter of getting the feeling without upholding it. See, it gets upheld, it gets upheld, it gets supported by pursuing thoughts that make the feeling real. Okay, this is well ingrained into the mind. You can see it going on. I saw something in the news about Rand Paul, who's a politician. I don't know if you guys know who he is, but it said Rand Paul was in some kind of altercation with his neighbor. They were just kind of like at odds with each other. I could tell by the story what was going on, like emotionally. And then eventually his neighbor slammed him and crushed his ribs and everything. And so Rand Paul has a lawsuit and wants that man to be punished. He wants him to learn a lesson. And this is normal. This is normal in our society, quote unquote. to want to get punishment, that it's part of the way the whole justice system is set up. And that's not really justice, that's an attack, to call it like that. It's an attack on all parties involved. To call it as if that person from outside of you attacked you, even though it looks like that. It sure does look like that. And, in a court of law, it's a guilty verdict as well, especially since the guy admitted to it. He said, yes, I did that. I tackled that guy. But it's just, it's like the society, the human mind, whatever you want to call it, has completely lost sight of the fact that no one is doing anything. That it's an energetic play. And every time you say you want punishment, you're asking for it. And in the first place, there's a lot of asking for punishment that leads up to a perception of an attack. And it asks for more of those kinds of perceptions because it makes it real. See, there seems to be no desire in society to actually heal the cause of violence. This is what makes it go on and on. Punishing it is what makes it go on and on. Blaming, yes, Lori, blaming. Lori said, why is this so damn hard to get? Are you saying that you don't get it? Is that what you're saying? I don't know. Why is it so hard to get? Well, what we perceive seems very, very real, right? You're getting it. Okay, good. What we perceive seems very, very real. So of course that's going to be difficult for a lot of people who have been perceiving the same, way of life over and over again. When I first heard it, saw it, I had to put it away. Put it away. That was like too much. Because it takes away your sense of as a separate self. It takes away almost like a piece of your security that you built up in the world. Yes, it's false security. It's false security, but it seems to take away a piece of the security because you said, I will protect myself. I will make sure that people treat me right, and when they're not treating me right, I'll either get away from them or I'll do what I need to do to get treated right. See? And that's not up to you. You wouldn't even think of something like that. You wouldn't even think of protecting yourself like that. Just it would just be like letting everything come, and however your expression is and their expression is, it just comes. No need to try to get anything or resist anything. And that doesn't mean you can't have boundaries. I was telling one of my friends yesterday that, boundaries are awesome. They pop up. I see them pop up. But the thing is, boundaries without an expectation that people don't cross them. If you have boundaries with an expectation that people don't cross them, that's already an attack. That's as if that's real what you did. That's real, the setting of the boundaries. It's not. It's for play. Every trigger, like say crossing the boundary, like get a trigger, every trigger that you get is for you. You gave it to yourself. And say you told them to do that. It's fun. It's fun to see how you'll respond. It's fun to see how the expression will unfold as you relax more and more with the triggers and let them sort of unwind you. Unwind the mind. You have no needs in the world. You don't need anything from other people. You don't need anyone's support. You don't need anyone's love. You don't need anyone's approval. There's only one need that you have, and that need is love. It looks like a lot of different variations in the dream. You can say love is too much for the dream. The dream disappears in the light of love. But love manifests in the dream as joy, happiness, peacefulness, calmness, acceptance, resilience. Okay. That's all you need. And you already have it. But to follow a desire, to get attached to a desire in the world is to say that you don't already have it and that particular thing can give it to you. And that's a setup. You get really hopeful that it's going to be, oh, this is the one, he's the one, whatever. All my problems are solved. But nothing in the world gets you there. So it's a matter of seeing that there is no world, there's nothing to pursue in the world, and all you need is what you already have, but have been denying because of making the world important, holding up some kind of worldly idol. Lori said that's a cool way to think of it, unwinding the mind. Yeah, I've seen it like that too, Lori. I've almost seen it like a heavy feeling sensation, and the heavy feeling sensation almost like there's a tightness in the center and an uncoiling, and it feels symbolic of uncoiling in the mind, exposing more subtle patterns, more and more subtle patterns, allowing more and more freedom. That's the whole purpose of it. You could say, so many times I've said awakening the mind, our shared purpose, awakening the mind. It's synonymous with freedom. The whole purpose, freedom, allowing more freedom. Yay, Bob Shine!
Yay! So here we are,
Here we are.
out in the world, supposedly. So all this talk about out in the world, and we're looking for things out in the world, and this person hurt me out in the world.
Yeah.
And so like I'm looking at my computer screen right now, and what is there in front of me on my computer screen, which is nothing. Nothing is there. It's just a bunch of colors and images. When you look, and it's the same thing, you look at a TV screen, you look at a movie screen in the theater, you look at the screen on your phone, and what is there? Absolutely nothing. It's just there's nothing there. There's no people, places, things, conditions. It's just a bunch of random colors and images that you translate into something.
Isn't that fun?
Right. So that means there's, but like, okay, so like I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
On the glass of my computer screen. So I'm also looking out the window. So, you supposedly there, it would be as if, kind of like now I'm looking out the window of my living room and I can see, the trees and the outdoors. So you could say that, well, this computer glass screen is like a window because you're supposedly there and I'm looking at you. You're a solid, mortal, physical, biological, entity that is there, conscious and alive, right?
Okay.
But are you there though? That's
Where's there though?
right. Where's there? So there's this little passage by Emmanuel, the channeled entity. It's just a couple sentences where he kind of describes what we're talking about. He says, Now is eternity which has chosen to take form. Walking your earth or eating a meal or seeing the trees change or hearing a bird, none of these exists until you touch them. I hear your minds. Emmanuel, are you telling me that until I experience a tree, it doesn't exist? I am. And I am telling you that until you hear the song of a bird, that bird is not singing, not the way you hear it. Everything in your world is neutral until you touch it. Is that not magic? What does one do with this information? You enjoy it and know that the particular bird song you hear has never been heard before. You are so important in your world that without you, what you touch with your presence would literally not exist. So whatever is out there, it's all dependent on me, the perceiver. Without me, the perceiver, nothing's there. And basically all that is there is the perceiver, is the witness, the seer, the observer.
Yes.
And basically what you talk about how everything is a projection. It's like in the movie theater, you're sitting there looking at the movie screen, but what you're looking at is being projected from behind you. You're unconscious of the fact that you are looking at the very thing that you're projecting. So it's all you. There's nothing, there's no one out hurting you. And so then you realize that you're you're creating what you're perceiving, just like that quote says. So you see all these pictures in the outside world. You see, oh, the world is coming to an end, that the environment is being destroyed, the society is becoming a prison, and we're going to be herded into FEMA camps, and they're going to microchip us, and the mark of the beast, and all these horror.
What shows are you watching?
Well, this is the pictures that are out there that they say are the inevitable, result of our future.
There's all kinds of pictures out there that you could be looking at, though.
Right. That's just it. So that's the thing is, as like you say, is those are all scenarios that lack love.
Yeah.
So the idea is to project a scenario of love. So there's this other little passage by Rob Brzezinski, the guy that does the free will astrology. And he says, the bumper sticker I saw said, having abandoned my search for the truth, I'm now looking for a good fantasy. Though it's meant to be sarcastic, it's a useful piece of advice. Consider this hypothesis. The truth is so complicated and ever shifting that it's impossible to pin down. Why try to understand the nature of reality when it's more productive and interesting to aggressively create the nature of reality? Why be preoccupied with conjuring up concepts to approximate the structure of the universe when the point is we change everything we observe merely by looking at it?
Yeah.
Another bumper sticker says, life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. So it's like there's nothing out there other than your projection and what you're creating. You don't have to live according to any external picture or limitation or scenario that the outside world is trying to program you with. It's that you have the power and the ability to project a world of love, of peace, of sharing, cooperation.
Well, then that's not projection, though. Because see, the whole thing is projection comes from the sense of separation, and you can't help it as long as there's a belief in the sense of separation. You can't help projecting because you feel a sense of guilt and don't recognize what it is. So it's not getting healed. That's all. So that's why I say don't try to create yourself. You're already created. You don't have to work on it. You don't
Right.
have to work on what, what you're going to become, like what you can make yourself become, and whatever you make in a dream really sucks compared to creation.
Yeah, well, that's just it. See, you don't do it. It's like one becomes like a transparency. When one becomes, it's like they talk about how the window pane has an accumulation of dirt and dust, and then that casts a shadow.
Yes.
So the negatives out in the world are the accumulation of memories and programs and thoughts and beliefs that then cast a shadow on the world. Whereas if you can become a clear transparency for the light to shine out into the world, to be a source of light, to be a source of illuminating the world instead of casting more shadows, more darkness, more problem, that then you're not the creator, you're just the transparency, the avenue of expression, the banks of the river that flow the light and the love, which is God. God is love, is oneness, where there's no opposite. Beside God there is no other. Then there is oneness and love.
Okay, so one thing I'd like to clarify is that you are a creator. Everything, you are given the power of creation. It's just that you cannot create anything that lacks love. That's why nothing in this world is created. Because it's all a passing illusion. That's not your creation. But you are creating all of the time. Everything that you've given pure love toward, and everyone is all the time, is going toward your creation. It's just that you can't see it right now. It's like it's got a covering over it. It's like it's got a covering of a projected sense of separation over it. So you don't need to create anything else. Creation happens. You are creative through loving. Okay? That is how your creativity happens. But it's when you try to be the creator and make your reality in this illusion that you cannot also be allowing the creativity to flow through you. Because if you want to take charge of it, that's not in a receptive mode. That's being receptive, you could say, to ego guidance.
Yeah, well, it's like Jesus says, I am my own self can do nothing. The Father within doeth the works. So then that's the Christ consciousness, is to allow something above and beyond myself, my little Bob's shine self, to shine through that light, that source, to bring source, because everything that we perceive with our five senses is finite form and effect. It's not source. It's limited. It can decay. Everything decays and dies that we perceive in
Yeah.
our physical universe. So it's once
So
again,
far, yes.
it's the shadow appearance that isn't the reality. Plato has that allegory about the guys in the cave that sees the shadows, and they think that the shadows are the reality, but the reality is the light that projects the shadows. And when you've seen the light, then that erases the shadows, and you're living just in the light and generating or being the vehicle, the transparency for that light of love.
It's almost like just opening a window.
That's it. Right. That's just it. So, well, it's basically, opening your eyes. It's kind of
Yeah.
like feeling around in the dark for the light switch, and all you have to do is open your eyes.
Yes. Yes. And to give an example of something like that, say you're with another person and you hear them say something like, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that thing," and all of a sudden you feel like that was a guilty thing toward you. all of a sudden you feel like that was like them trying to guilt trip you, or maybe you just started feeling guilty about it. All it takes is to get that feeling. Just get that feeling. Forget about what you think the other person said. They never said anything. Nothing ever happened. But whatever you perceived got a guilty feeling in you. Go right to the guilty feeling. Let it be resolved. Let it be resolved in you. And then you can see what the person was asking for was really just love. Just kind of
Well,
like maybe a
it,
hug. Who knows?
yeah, but it seems like that guilty feeling is due to you doing something. It's like you've committed a crime. You've done a
Only
trespass.
if you think about it like that. Only if you think about it like that. That takes thought. Believe it or not, it takes thought to uphold that. And if you'll just forget about that for a minute and go to the feeling for a minute, that that belief gets resolved
Yeah, but the
because
whole
you didn't
idea of
uphold
guilt
it.
is that you've sinned. You were the doer that did something wrong, that was a violation, that hurt someone,
It
right?
doesn't matter. It's still a feeling.
Hmm.
It doesn't matter. It's the same. The perceived violation or that you hurt someone. That's your projection right now too, and that's just a feeling. You get that feeling, and this seems so common. Actually, I had a couple people come up to me this weekend about this same thing, about I don't even know what I did wrong, and it's like, well, you really don't need to go there because you didn't do anything. It's an energy play. You didn't do anything. You have to get off of I did it and how can I do it better and go straight to the feeling because being in that kind of compassionate looking at the feeling, just looking at the feeling. To look at the feeling, you cannot be pursuing the thoughts. You cannot be pursuing the fearful thoughts that uphold that perception that you've done something wrong to someone. Okay, so just by getting the feeling and letting it be resolved in your body's energy field, you're going to automatically relate more harmonious with people. You
Hmm.
may have gotten the feeling a few times and got taken by thoughts again, doubtful thoughts that it even worked to get the feeling. Did that even work? I don't know, because I'm still manifesting the same thing. You know, if you put doubt on it, the healing can't happen. But regardless of what you see or what you keep seeing, you have to get the feeling effect. Keep on getting the feeling effect. This could appear to take time to work out, and that's all you made time for, to work it out. Okay. So it may take time to get free from it, especially if it's one of those ingrained ones where you have this heavy guilt feeling like you actually did something to someone. And you know what, Bob? This is so common in relationships. For the most part, people want to be in relationships with people so that they could project guilt onto them. And for the most part, both parties in relationships are doing that. You have to be pretty alert to see that that's happening, that pattern is happening, and focus your attention in a different direction. So it's not like you're like alone in something like this. Pretty much everyone's got that kind of thing going. Or, oh, what did I do? And it's like, you didn't do anything. And you can free yourself from it if you're just willing, if you just be willing to give it up instead of trying to work it out on a physical sense as if you can do better. You can only do according to how you feel and bring back evidence that the same feelings are justified. Okay?
Yeah. So now, what's the name of that children's book that you're writing?
Um, it's written. It's pretty much all the way written. I gave it over to the editor, and she's going through it, doing some different things, and she's also writing down some information I can use for doing an introduction chapter, just for
Yeah,
the
but
people that don't know what terms I'm using and stuff. And it's called Unschooling for Parents.
Oh, I thought it was something about innocence.
Yes, it was. It was protecting innocence. And then as I was writing it, I was like, wow, this is really, I've had a lot of influence from the unschooling philosophy and the unschooling community. I didn't realize that till I was writing the book. And I go, I bet you people who are in the unschooling community would be interested in this. And it is like unschooling. Um, it's unlearning all of the concepts we've learned about how to be a parent, about how to be a good parent. See, um, and then a little subtitle. It says a mystic's guide to awakening with children.
So it was called Protecting Innocence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just it. So we're talking about guilt. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so, it's about protecting innocence. So,
Yeah.
the whole concept of sin is a complete lie. There is,
Oh
why is there even any form of sin whatsoever? The child has to protect the child's innocence, to not make them bad or not good enough, or
yeah.
they
Exactly.
wrong, that becomes a programming that lowers their vibration, so that then they become victims of external circumstances and negative programming, and then they just become slaves to the system, and their lives are you know tragic. So that's it. It's protecting the innocent. There's that cartoon, I have sinned, Father. Please eliminate what has caused me to sin. And what then happens in this cartoon is the priest disappears. It was that created the sin and the whole guilt complex with this, hell. And this is what I've had to heal from my Catholic upbringing. Having to go to confession and afraid of, going to hell. So this is all gets
You love it.
indoctrinated.
You gave it to yourself. It was a beautiful gift.
Right. I projected that script out into the universe. I'll always be shamed, punished, and blamed. And then I saw it read back to me by my mother and the priests and the nuns and throughout my life. But now I'm looking to be celebrated and to be loved, and to love and celebrate life, and to like your book says, to generate innocence. Um, uh, what's his name?
Protect innocence.
Right, Matthew Fox. He wrote that book, Original Innocence, and that's what got him uh, uh, excommunicated from the Catholic Church, because the basic of the Catholic Church is, is guilt. They want you to be a sinner. Adam and Eve, disobeyed God and ate of that tree and threw us out of paradise, and now we need Jesus to die for our sins, and we're sinners and all that stuff. So that's just it.
Could be saved by death. I know.
Right. So it's the Original Innocence that Matthew Fox wrote the book, and that got him thrown out of the Catholic Church, because that was a total threat to their dogma and how they control the parishioners.
How awesome.
Right. So I feel that this is what we're doing, that we're protecting the innocence and unlearning the guilt and the shame and punishment complexes that we've been programmed and conditioned with.
Yes. It was sure fun to write. It was really, really fun.
Great. So
Writing all that stuff down.
when do we get to see it?
I don't know. I can send you one if you want it in PDF format. Just let me know if anyone wants it in PDF format. I sent it to it's probably going to have some modifications. I sent it back to the editor again, but if you guys want it early, you'll get the meat of it. That's for sure.
Oh.
Anon and Molly say hi, Bob and Hope. and they love us.
Right. I love you, Anon and Molly. Thank you.
And then Lori said the book is so long, 277 pages.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, you have so much.
277 pages of me saying the same thing in a bunch of different ways. That's really fun.
Guilt
Uh,
and I spent 62 years in guilt complex. It takes a little work
yeah,
to unwind, unprogram those
exactly. It takes repetition. It takes repetition for sure, and coming at it from different angles.
Mm-hmm.
You're having fun with it, Lori? Yay!
Well,
I gave it to Lori. I gave the early one to Lori. Sweet. All
wonderful.
right, so I got Phoebe's hand now. I'm gonna
Okay.
go check what's going on with Phoebe, and then Jairus, I see you made some comments. I'll get to those too. Thank you.
All right.
Aloha, Bob.
Hello. I love you. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you. Phoebe.
Yay!
Yay, Phoebe. Lori said that.
This is so cool.
Yes.
Okay, so hello. The guilt thing. The
Yeah.
first of the year, I decided I was going to fast. And I learned a lot about self-control, and immediately I wanted to cheat. And I almost made it to the end. It was 21 days. And on like the 19th day, I got so hungry. I ate a whole bag of peanuts, myself, a huge bag. And then I moved on to the corn chips, and I'm eating the corn chips, and I'm like, all right, I'll just dip these in some beans. So I'm dipping them in the beans, and in the beans is pork, and I'm fasting from meat.
Yeah.
So I eat, and sugar and coffee. So I eat the meat, and it's so good. And I'm like, oh, damn, I'm eating meat. And 24 hours later, I'm in excruciating pain. And long story short, they tell me I have something called colitis. Is it the guilt? Was it the guilt? Did I can't eat anything. I can't that was vomiting and diarrhea like every 2 hours for like 2 days. I had to go to the hospital. I had to get like a fucking IV and like morphine and shit. It was hurting so bad. Like my gallbladder did all kinds of shit. And
yeah, you could tell it's guilt. See, you know how you can tell? Because there's not gratitude there. Like even in the voice tone.
Yeah, I'm so pissed.
Yeah, so that's good. That's good because you have it now. You have the feeling for yourself. So you lay off of the thinking and go to the feeling. Just give it a minute. You can give it a minute. Like if you want, you can set an alarm on your phone to give it a minute every hour or half hour. It does a lot, and then trust that it does a lot.
To feel it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have that. Lori said, give what a minute? I say, give it a minute where you keep putting your attention back onto your feeling, that feeling that you're expressing, like what you just expressed through your words. There was a certain tone to it. That's a certain feeling. Getting the effects of that feeling, just give it a minute. And you could just give it a minute, even if your mind wanders in that minute. If you're constantly going back and giving it a minute like that, that's going to add up, and eventually your focus is going to improve. You have a better sense of focus where you can deliberately focus your energy on the feeling instead of pursuing the thought that justifies the feeling. See how those thoughts justify it, like that fucking IV and that kind of energy, that tone. So you just get off of those for a minute and get into the feeling sensation that's being triggered by this perception. And that's what's healing. And you don't need it. You don't need anything. Anytime you find yourself with um, any kind of sickness, you can call this sickness, a kind of sickness. Um, it's not really occurring. It's not really occurring. You don't need anything for it, although if you're doing something for it, that's not any kind of problem at all. It's not like you're more enlightened if you don't go to the doctor or something.
Right.
Because none of that's really happening anyways. None of that's really even happening. The whole purpose is always the same, which is awakening the mind, which I said today is synonymous with allowing more freedom. So even any trip to the hospital or anything like that, you don't have to buy into diagnosis as being true. You don't have to buy into a diagnosis as being real. If you're getting the effect right now of eating food makes you feel sick, fine. That says you're not eating food right now. But food can't make you feel sick. It has no effect on your body. It does not matter what effect you're seeing. And in fact, as you start becoming conscious of the fact that food has no effect on your body, you might start seeing more effects, more proof that food has an effect on the body. And, the only way you can deny the evidence, is to put your attention on the feeling. Put your attention on the feeling, because it's from the feeling that perception is being projected anyways. It's coming from that feeling. That's where it starts. It ends in a projection. It ends in some kind of symptom, but it starts as a feeling. So you put your attention there and let that be like your doctor, like your main healing, notwithstanding any other doctors or healing remedies you appear to be using on the surface.
And I don't have to know if the feeling is guilt.
You know what? It's all guilt. You just go like that.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that seems a little bit upsetting, from a minor frustration to major shock, it's all guilt. Okay. If you're not feeling guilty, you're not going to be afraid. And if you're not afraid, you're not going to be pursuing fearful thoughts. Okay. You're not going to be in that kind of tone. Like everything's exciting to you, no matter what it is, even if you are going to the hospital and even if something's painful. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're saying. It wasn't like, like it was bitching, I got to check out morphine. That was cool. Yeah. It's just, I guess it's the thought that I did this to myself,
it's guilt again. It's just in another form. It doesn't matter who you're blaming,
Right.
It's like another way of coming around and saying, well, look, you haven't been what such and such and such and such. That's not what it's for either.
No, that's okay. That's not what it's for.
Yeah.
To see that though.
About you. It's not about you. It's an opportunity for you. It's not even real. Like I said, nothing that's not, everything in this world is not real. It's not one bit about you. Nothing in it is about you. If there's some kind of sickness going on, it's not about you. It's an opportunity for you to see that sickness is impossible. You demonstrate that sickness is impossible every time you're willing to get that feeling effect instead of upholding the thought that sickness is possible. It takes a lot of energy to uphold the thought that sickness is possible. And if you're taking it as if you did something wrong to cause it, you're making it real. It's not real. It can pass if it's not real. It can't pass if it's real.
Okay. Something cool did happen. Right. I didn't eat for 2 days, and when I got a hunger pain, it felt so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, oh, this is like pleasurable.
Uh-huh.
It was cool. was a hunger pain, normally the perception of that is that I'm hungry,
Yeah.
But when I didn't have, I didn't eat for so long and I got a hunger pain, it felt delicious. Like it
Yeah.
felt good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good feeling.
I see. So it's just about experiencing the feeling.
Yes. Yes, there's going to be different things that arise in the illusion to try to tempt you to make guilt real again and again. Doesn't matter how many awakenings and openings you've had, there's going to be things in the illusion that try to tempt you. And that's when you reach for, what I call my definition of integrity is willingness to apply what's true, even though you think you know that this is true instead. Like say, even though you think you know that this diagnosis is true instead, or you think you know that food is causing something, or that you're to blame for this. Just hold it all up to the light of the truth. That's integrity.
I didn't really think that stuff about food until I did that.
Until you did what?
Said I won't eat this and I won't eat that.
Uh-huh.
Went on the fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess going on the fast it was because I believed that something would happen if I didn't eat that food.
Yeah, it's just
I guess I was told there'd be like some kind of breakthrough, to fast.
Oh, okay.
I guess
Bob said you fasted to experience guilt for eating peanuts with pork.
Yeah, exactly.
That's quite the combo. I'll give that to you. Peanuts and pork is a good one.
So there's not even any thing from that, unless I believe that, huh? That fasting.
Right, yeah. There's not anything, it's not anything that you do. That's the thing. That's what's important. And a lot of people get caught up on, it's like as if you can do something in the world that'll make you better or more or something. Like the ego is always looking to make you better as an image, where, it's for your spirit, it's all it is looking through that idea that you are separate and can be made better. Like if you know yourself as you are, you don't need to make yourself better. You're just getting the experience of whatever you seem to be appearing as.
Yeah.
Get that ride of whatever you seem to be appearing as, and that lightens up the whole energy. A lot of the times what people do to themselves on the spiritual path, so to speak, is say that, they're enlightened, they're enlightened as long as they don't experience this. Like they don't experience sickness, for instance. They don't experience poverty. They don't experience conflict, It's all right. Don't experience people crossing your boundaries or, whatever. I
see it's everything.
What's that?
You're going to experience everything.
Yeah, whatever it is that's coming, because whatever it is that's coming is what you want. You want to experience that. That's why you made it, because that's what you can use to awaken the mind and basically allow more freedom for yourself and for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can have a sense like you can't eat, and it's like, okay, that's it, for now that's what the sense is.
Yeah, right.
You don't have to accept that as if it's true. You're still projecting it,
Yeah.
In fact, I would recommend don't accept that as if it's true. Don't make it your story.
Yeah.
It's like right now that seems to be the situation, but the way doctors and stuff are likely to put it is like, this is you now. And just let any kind of remedies come to you too. I mean, they will. They present themselves. Like you might just hear something a couple times. You know, like for instance, I noticed that it's really cold in the winter here. It seems like it's colder than it was in other house, or else it's getting colder or whatever. And I noticed, wow, it would be nice to be warmer when I'm sleeping, you know? And then I just heard a couple times about this one certain mat that I could put in my bed. I just heard it a couple times, and I wasn't asking for the information or anything. It just randomly. And so I go and I look it up, and I go, oh, that looks really good. And then I got it, and I can't tell you how much more relaxing it is laying in bed. And it's warm, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I know all the warmth comes from me, you know, and since I know that it does come from me, I don't have to seek it out even. It's just kind of fun. It's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna present itself.
So it's is it opening or awakening my mind to learn, or did that I believed that by eating that pork I would get sick subconsciously, or none of that is important to even think about?
Yeah, that's not even important to think about or try to analyze or anything. I mean, basically it comes from the hidden idea that sickness is real. There are threats. I mean, look at what you need to uphold that perception. It's obvious.
Right.
There are threats in the world. I mean, you don't have to make it so personal because you have these kind of universal beliefs already. And all you do is get the feeling effect of it. And that's why it's healing for everyone. You know,
Okay.
because it takes power from that belief that you've given over to that belief. And it's like you're reclaiming it for yourself, which is one with everyone. So it's like it opens the door for everyone to keep on reclaiming more power for themselves. And I'm noticing a real turn in this in consciousness. It seems like an acceleration has taken place. I even notice around here, like when I first started Wisdom Dialogues over at Kalani, you know, people were kind of like, what in the world is she talking about? And people didn't seem to be really getting it. And I just was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go kick back for a while. Well, this past weekend I was at Manifest, and that place got packed. It got really packed. The little room was all packed, and there's even people around the outside of it looking in, and people were getting it. And a lot of them aren't even from here. And it seems like the people around here would be more open to it too. But a lot of them weren't even from around here, and it looks like, in consciousness that people are just ready for it.
Yeah.
Because it's because of the, you could say, the work we've been doing, like Byron Katie calls it the work. You can say it's because of the openings that have been allowed through just getting our feelings, letting the feelings be what they are without projecting. It's taking energy away from these harmful thought patterns that seem like they're so tempting and so powerful and necessary. And people are going, wait a minute, there is something else. Oh, I could just be a little bit willing to see it this way and see how it goes. And people are getting the effects of having that little bit of willingness and seeing that, oh, look how much it calms down,
Yeah.
Even your sense with your food, it'll completely calm down as you're not resistant to the experience. You're getting the feeling effect of the whole experience. I mean, look, when someone gives birth, it's not like it looks like, it depends who's giving birth, but it doesn't always look like a peaceful, serene experience. And that's it, but it can be. It can be. See? And it's the same thing with anything. You can say when you're going through this kind of thing, this kind of perception, like you're having some kind of diagnosis and going to the hospital and everything like that. It's like giving birth. See, It's like
Mhm.
there's something that you're going through apparently for the blessing. You give yourself everything you give yourself for the blessing,
Mm.
In a birth symbolically that's the baby. And if you go through birth like I had with my third child, I went through with hypno babies, you get a lot more gifts than just a baby out of it.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because pain is a manifestation of fear.
Mhm.
So, and you can't have fear without guilt. Okay. So that pain, even the pain in the hospital, that's a manifestation of fear. And the more pain that is present, the more healing you can have.
Mm.
And the more
Mm.
healing can come from it. See?
Mm.
So that's what makes it a blessing, and you keep on going back to gratitude. It doesn't matter what the circumstance is. You're not going to find yourself in that kind of tone for very long. You might not find yourself able to go to that kind of tone, that resistant tone at all, because you understand what it is.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, that's a totally different feeling. That's completely
Yeah,
different.
exactly.
Mm. That's riding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yep. It's all fun.
I think I had been resisting the feeling, not wanting to feel anything and not, I was pushing it down and it was like this is coming.
That's a lot of what eating is too. That's a lot of what eating is. And, I'm not saying that anyone should stop eating or fast or anything like that, but if you do, that's cool too. But, even more effective than that, in my view and from my experience, is eating with complete awareness of what you're feeling. Is you'll
Mm.
start to feel, as I did, when you're eating and you're stuffing feelings. You can actually feel it.
Mhm.
And it's not like you make yourself stop eating or try to do anything like that. You just keep on watching. And naturally, you're going to want to get that feeling instead of stuffing it. And you
Yeah.
don't have to stop eating to get the feeling either, because it's not really about the eating. It's just that the ego will use something like that to distract your attention.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I could see it occurring and happening like a movie, but
It's okay.
yeah, like you said, I had
That's the part. That's a part where you get that self-love. That it's okay. Isn't she sweet? Isn't she cute?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because when you're resisting that, you're still keeping the resistance in another way.
Yes, you're right. Gosh, it gets you. It's so subtle.
Yes, it is. And that's why, from time to time I talk about improving your focus. And that's what's
Mm.
helpful about, if you're drawn to it. None of anything that I say is helpful unless it's, you're drawn to it. But, that one about setting an alarm for every certain amount of time to give yourself a minute to feel, that improves your focus over time. And that
Okay.
focus is important, in yoga, they say if you have navel power, you can get through anything,
Mm.
and what they mean is you have the ability to
Mhm.
focus from your core,
Yeah. Yeah.
and not because basically when you're unfocused, you're being pulled into this kind of sleepiness where you're taking on an ego ride deeper and deeper into an upset feeling where the water gets really muddy.
Yeah. Damn, you are so good, girl.
You are so
I don't know
good.
how
Well,
this
thank you
is
for making me
amazing.
like that. What-
Wow, you just yeah.
Well, hooray.
I love you so much, Hope.
I love you, Phoebes.
There's no way I could have translated all of this from my mind without you, man.
Yes, you could, because you already did, because I'm not really here like that.
Yeah,
You,
right.
you know,
It's so
it just,
cool.
yeah, it's just like you
Mhm.
just call on it, and the information comes to you, whatever way it comes to you. That's
That's
all.
so cool.
It's totally good without me.
Yeah, but it's fun to say it out loud, to another object.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and of course, gratitude is always wonderful in all
Yeah,
situations, and then all gratitude is to you.
man.
You don't need anyone. That's really the bottom line. You don't need anyone. All gratitude is for you, because whatever you're making of me right now is your projection. Isn't that rad?
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool. I mean, I love myself so much, man. So hard to contain.
Yay. One guy told me one time, he goes, Hope, I'm in love with you now. I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah, we're totally in love.
And I go, go spread that shit around.
That's my favorite thing to do.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Spread it around. I know. You're so good at it too, Phoebes. Thank you so
It's
much.
so fun.
Yeah.
This is fun. All right,
Yeah.
baby girl. Thank you so much,
You
man.
too,
I'm going to go
Phoebes. I
eat a
appreciate
cheeseburger.
you. Okay. Aloha. I would give you a kiss on the lips too, Phoebes.
We're totally kissing on the lips when I get to Hawaii. I can't wait, man. I'm going to totally feel you up and everything.
How fun. Okay. I'll see you then.
Okay. Aloha.
Aloha.
Hee
Okay. Now on to Jairus. He wrote something awesome over here, I'm sure. Dive into all distortions. Hold acceptance as the energy churns. Usher in healing and love naturally along with acceptance, and enjoy the reintegration. Beautiful. Lovely, Jairus. Thank you. Has nothing to do with the outside world or the people that inhabit it. Acknowledge that, go within, deal with it enthusiastically. Yes, enthusiastically. Not like, oh, how did I get here? The changes will lessen, or the charges will lessen until they no longer seem to be a thing to cause triggers in the first place. Thanks, Hope. Yay, Jairus. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. The book is so long. Yes, I remember that. Andrea wants a book. Okay, anyone who wants a book, just let me know and I will send you the PDF copy, whatever it is, whatever we've got right now. It's probably not going to be what's final. I know I'm writing another paragraph after the editor tells me what was confusing to her and needs to be explained in an introduction. Yay. Lori said, my friend Nazara says she feels a global shift when she meditates. Well, you are the world. So, yeah, those shifts. Oh, it feels so good. You can't have pain without guilt. Wow, yeah, that's right. You cannot have pain. Well, you need pain. You need fear. You need guilt for fear. Excuse me. You need guilt to have fearful thought structure. Okay, guilt makes a fearful thought structure, which is also responsible for the birth of a body. That's why Jesus said everyone is born in sin. Okay, that's what's responsible for the birth of a mortal body. This guilty feeling. Okay, and that allows for a whole fearful thought system that brings up feelings like disgust, unease, discomfort, just a sickly feelings, whatever. Okay. I never said that about eating. Oh, how fun. I love it. I love saying new things. That's awesome. And it's much harder to see through when the water is muddy. Yes, that's true. Oh, Jairus, these dialogues are a wonderful way to drop back into my truth. beyond all the mind stuff, deep stillness. Good. Yeah, that's a good thing to use it for. You know, when you're willing to use everything for that, for, you could say, in a way, falling back into your truth, like Jared said, beyond the mind stuff, going beyond the mind stuff, just a willingness to keep going beyond it. More and more opportunities to go beyond it are going to be revealed to you. The more you recognize you have no needs of this world, the more willing you'll be to go beyond all of what's being shown to you in the world. Okay? So hooray! If anyone has any more questions, please raise your hand. I'll let you know if anything else comes up. In the meantime, I would like to talk with you about a couple of new blends that are coming out, Miracle Botanicals. One of them is called Authentic, and I made it for my friend Yulia. It's got a lot of different woods in it. Also has a little bit of sweet stuff in it. It came to me when I was writing the book. I think it was the first chapter, or it may not be anymore. And it was about authenticity, allowing everyone to be authentic and not wanting them to be something that you think they should be, as in thinking that someone should apologize, thinking that someone should be more tidy, thinking that someone should be more respectful. That's a really big one. And being willing to get the feeling effect of thinking that they should be what they are not presenting to you. You know, it gets to the point where you love the authenticity. You love the authenticity. Even if they're like, Mom, you're a bitch, which actually I've gotten before. You guys on Wisdom Dialogues may have seen it at one point. And you know, I love that. If that's what they're feeling, I love that they can say that. I love that they can just express whatever is going on, you know, and just be able to get the effect of their feelings, without someone telling them that it's wrong, you know. They could do it on their own time, in their own timing. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me if they're getting it right away, because I know that they're going to get whatever they need to get when they get it. So, you know, if one of my kids or anyone else, any adults who don't know are feeling victimized and project the victimization, I love it. I think it's adorable. I love it. And that essential oil blend, Authenticity, is for anyone who would love to accept authentically whatever it is that's arising. You know, it could even be used for the scenario that Phoebes gave about going to the hospital. It's like just letting it, you know, applying it as in, let's just have the authentic expression, whatever it is. Even if it's this resistance to it, even if it's this tone that says, I don't like this. It's not to try to run away from that tone, but to go, oh, that's the authentic, that's a feeling that's coming up right now. You know, that's what's alive for me right now. Let me get the feeling effect of that. You know, it's embracing what is there. Okay, so that's one of them, Authentic. And then another one that's coming out very, very soon. Look for this maybe within the next couple weeks. Another one that's coming out, Simple Man. Yeah, Simple Man. It only has 3 ingredients in it. One of them is cistus. It's in a lot of men's cologne. And ours just smells incredible, of course. There are 2 other ingredients in there, and they escape my mind at the moment, but it smells amazing. When I smelled it, I said, oh, we have to have this one. It's so simple, so we call it Simple Man. And then Oh, one more, scar eraser. My mom just got a boob job. Yep, my mom got some nice big round boobs. And I think she got them reduced in some way. I'm not sure of all the details. I don't really follow that whole thing, how it goes down, but I guess it leaves some little scars. So I came up with this scar eraser, and it got some rose hip seed oil and hazelnut oil as the base. They're both known to be really good for scars and skin and stuff. Then I put Hawaiian sandalwood in there because that's known for helping to regenerate it. And Helichrysum italicum from Corsica, another one that's also known for skin regeneration. They say use it for wrinkles and scars. So I put that one in there. And then I put the beautiful neroli. So floral, but it's so good for skin too. It makes it smell pretty. And some copaiba, which is really high in a chemical called B-caryophyllene. It's known for helping with inflammation. So hooray, we have lots of fun stuff coming out. Of course, none of it really does anything to your body. Isn't that fun? Basically what we go off with, well, nothing does anything to your body because there is no body, basically. I look at essential oils like allies, almost like coming to make magic with you. And, you know, even more than the magic, than the magic, there's a certain resonance that they have with the mind and with the emotional body. And essential oils can also be used for focusing. It's like a reminder to go within. They all have a lot of emotional properties as well that are known. I guess what we have to know about it is empirical evidence, which is basically evidence from the past, which is always fun. Meaningless, totally meaningless, but fun. That's why some people get the effects that the essential oil is supposed to deliver, and others do not. You know, for some there's a block to essential oil, and they don't get any effects from it. I have a cannabis sativa essential oil. People tell me that is amazing. If you look on Amazon, the reviews are great because people say how amazing it is, how it takes away their pain. Takes away their pain, the most amazing thing there. And then other people are just like, zilch. It did nothing for me. So in the dream, there's all different kinds of medicines we can use. And, you know, for some people, that medicine is radiation. That's their medicine that they use. That's their medicine that appears to work. It appears to give them the results. But, you know, we all use something. I mean, in order to get the effect that you got clean teeth when your teeth feel dirty is you go and brush your teeth, right? There's no teeth and there's no toothbrush, but still you can get the effect. That's magic. And that's all, you know, physical healing, it's all magic. There's no real healing for the body because there's not really any body. In the midst of all this magic, it's still all about awakening from the dream of separation where magic is necessary in the first place. Who needs magic when you've got creation? See? Magic is just a substitute. Andrea wants you to create a laughter blend infused with your laughter. What a beautiful idea. I will do that. Thank you. That is wonderful. Laughter. I'm going to call it laughter, and I'm going to laugh into it. That's how it's going to be. That sounds so fun. Thank you, Anastasia, and thank you too, Andrea. How do you come up with the names? I don't know. I don't know. My mom said she wants something for scars. So I said, okay. And then I went into the notes where I make a note, what to make it with. That comes. And then I go, oh, it needs a label. What's it going to say on the label? What is it? Scar eraser. Okay. Just like that. Simple man. It smelled so simple, like a simple man. And we like that song. Tony and I like that song. The one that goes, it's a simple, no, I'm a simple kind of man. I don't know if I'm singing the tune right. I don't know if you guys got it. But there is a cool song like that. So we named it Simple Man. And then the other one is called Authentic. It just came to me when I was on that chapter in the book to make a blend called that. And then, so the name was already Authentic before I had any essential oils to go in it. And then the essential oils came. So it comes all different ways. It's so fun like that. I love it. Are your essential oils extracted from all over the globe? Yes, they are. In fact, today we just got some hinoki. Well, we paid for it anyways. The hinoki from Japan. That's a Japanese cypress. Oh yeah. Yeah, and that's distilled over in Japan. And if you look on the bottles of our essential oils and carrier oils for that matter, at the bottom it says what country they're from. If you're getting a pure one, if you're getting a blend, it's from a bunch of different companies or a bunch of different countries, and we don't list all of them. So, but if you get pure essential oil, or you look on our website, like if you got a blend, you can look on our website, you can look the individual oils up and see which country they all came from. That's pretty interesting too. It's fun. So yeah. Let me know about the laughter one once it's out. Okay, well, yeah. Especially if you're signed up for our newsletter, we'll do a newsletter with new releases whenever. Once in a while, you know, we say, hey, we just released all these. And then it's always under the new products list when something new is released, which is kind of often for us. I love mine so much. And the name too, Blissful. Yes, that's what I thought of when I made it. Blissful Lori. All right, so I don't see any more hands. I don't have anything else coming to me. Of course, things come to me while I'm talking, apparently. So, wisdomdialogues.org is where you can find all of our videos. And you can find the place to join if you go to Facebook.com/groups/Wisdom Dialogue. That's where you'll get invitations. And if it won't let me send invitations to everyone, I'll post it to the group so you'll be able to see it there. Also, once you signed up here and you come on with me, then you're going to get them to your email where you can just join. So you don't have to look at the Facebook invitations, but you can click on it and like it and share it and stuff like that if you want. Yay, everyone! So Tuesdays at 3, I'll see you again, or you'll see me again next week, and it's such a pleasure to be with you. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your openness and your heart and your light. Mahalo. Have a beautiful week, and a hui ho!